Ladies and gentlemen, how is it going? Wow, okay. I really should be doing a screen recording to show you guys the different moons, but nah, I think you've seen enough of ipetgoat2 for the rest of your lives, so just gonna talk about it. It's pretty brief anyway. But before that, there's one important thing to understand here is that regarding my prior video, I said take it with a grain of salt for a good reason because where we are today, we are very limited in terms of the information we're able to perceive. Like if we're receiving downloads, for example, meditative downloads of information, like I have been lately, um, this is my interpretation of information that could potentially be of a much higher oscillation than what my brain and um, basically soul level is capable of handling at this point. And what I mean by that is, I was talking about the tree and the streams of thought processing that is basically emitted as a frequency to influence the collective and on an individual level as well. This sorry, there's a helicopter. This is a limited range of information. So um, there are myriads of things that we are actually incapable in our current stage of evolution of imagining. We have the infinite potential of creative processes and imagination, but um, and imagination isn't imagination; it's reality. But since there's a limited frequency range of harmonic oscillation, then my interpretation might be more allegorical, for example, or it came through to me in a way that I would, at my current stage of evolution, would understand. Um, However, I do believe that these deities are real, and especially Osiris. Um, and I do believe that he managed to evolve the other way. That means de-evolve into ever-increasing darkness, which is a good point, and I think that's an important thing to realize is who said that evolution is a one-way street? Who said that you can't become increasingly darker? There's infinite shades of variations of light. So it's just kind of sad that he found us. I think it's kind of sad, and I'm by no means happy whatsoever that his psychotic son is going to come here. That I'm pretty confident about, by the way. I am almost 100% certain that he will. And as dark as he is, his son is even worse. So there's not much more I could say about that. But having said that, um, I just wanted to say that there's three separate, two moons and one solar eclipse. For years, everyone has been talking about this being one event at like a single moment that the East Coast will flood and then he will birth and it will all happen at the same time. And I don't think that's the case at all. Um, so we have basically three things, like kind of like the story of Christ, right? Which I suppose they're trying to emulate or mimic, where, he has his death, he has his resurrection and ascension, and then he has the actual birth or uh, trans transfiguration from our dimension, what's called the Golden Gate, because that is of a that garden is as low as it is now, and it's dying. It's still of a much higher dimension than ours, into the Silver Gate, which is our lower realm here, and so the death will be on a blood moon eclipse, where the scene of Osama bin Laden and getting ready for war, basically, what looks to be a Navy ship of some kind, blood moon. And is this literally him on literally on our physical plane? I don't know. As above, so below. So if this is going to be somehow also played out in the physical plane here, I think that by symbolically killing the child, that they will symbolically destroy something. I mean, destroy a major city possibly that has some sort of energetic connection with that deity, um, or has some sort of Egyptian connections. Um, so it will probably be a large blast of some kind or something like that. It will probably be the event that will get us into World War III, essentially, is likely what it will be. That will be his symbolic death. You see in the scene where he is a whirling dervish, which is specifically a Turkish sect of Islam, where he's ascending out of the mosque. And, it's interesting that the whirling dervishes specifically dance in this whirling fashion to emulate the stars and planets and the cycles of astrology. So I think that's really interesting. So basically, his resurrection is symbolic of coming full circle. Basically, remember, we're going back to the beginning, right? So the garden is going to start from scratch. It's going to go back in time to before the time Osiris ever came. My family's here now, so if somebody comes in the room, I'm sorry. Um, so yeah, so it's coming full circle, and that's on a full. It looks like a super moon. Okay, so we have one super moon on July 13th this year, and I do believe we have one next year and the year after, but I'm really not sure. July 13th is a possible time frame for me this year. It's unlikely, but maybe not. January 6th, 2023 as well. We have the wolf moon, the lady in the tower, Madame Q, which is Lilith, the way she actually appears. Um, there's two wolves on either side of her, and there's other things that would imply January. And January 6th is also 2 years after the insurrection. So, okay, so we have his death on a blood moon. We have his resurrection and ascension on a supermoon. Okay? And then we have his birth on a solar eclipse. Okay, so these three events may span out for months or years, even. Okay? And it's possible that one of them already occurred. Because actually, the war in Ukraine started shortly after uh, a blood moon in February. So I believe. No, sorry. There was some kind of celestial event in February, but I don't know. It's all sad and it's all sick and it's all weird. And that will conclude. I think I'll finally stop talking about ipetgoat2 for as long as possible again. Now that I got it out of my system, I think. But I didn't point that out specifically in the prior video, so I had to mention it. Okay, remember, guys. So 3 separate events. fairly positive and certain of this, while everyone over the years has been saying it's all at once. It's not all at once. It's not. Nope.